Now, so we're moving on to the final match of round 2. This is Dr. Destructo versus Echo. The match that these two will be facing up against will be a defend the city match. Something is going to be invading this city. It's up to you guys to defend as many people as possible. Whether it be from falling buildings and saving them, stopping the building from falling over, or stopping whatever is going here in its tracks. It's going to be up to you guys to stop this thing and save as many people as possible. That's what you'll be judged on. There is a condition. You all will have a shrinking playing field. As the match draws on, you all will have to work with less and less area, meaning if your plan involves running around a lot, I don't think that'll work too much. The difficulty of this is A tier. Meaning, these are some pretty sucky buildings, these people don't listen to anything, and this threat is massive. The location on which you will be fighting in is the Icy Arena. So just imagine your basic Minecraft Tundra village, but modern.
So we are to expect that the civilian population will essentially ignore us, correct?
Pretty much. Think about every single superhero movie where the people are running around and the superheroes are doing stuff, but yet they're still somehow in the way. It's going to be up to you.
Just kill one outright, the rest will listen.
Yep, they don't want to listen. They're too scared. You'll be, ma'am, calm down. Wah! They're too scared.
Mario death sound.
So, the location that you're all dealing with, remember, like dirt, snow, and then modern city on top of it. Now, the threat that you will all be defending from is from a Season 1 contestant.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, Power Dude.
I am not. Didn't you have to deal with one?
No, this will be my first
Oh
time.
yeah, it's the other. This is Dr. Destructo's second time having to fight an all-star.
All-star motherfucker.
What a goat.
The all-star that you all will be fighting against is Pale Rider, the highest damage output of Season 1. Pale Rider's ability. He can shoot a beam at you. If you're hit, you take flat damage, and the area that is hit starts to disintegrate.
You said we got snow? It's snow and dirt.
Is he the primary cause of destruction to the city?
Yes, he will be the primary cause. He is the only cause. It's up to you guys to stop him from disintegrating the buildings and having them be destroyed in one hit, and save all the people inside. Block these shots somehow. Get him to focus somewhere else. Just know this isn't all-star, meaning it is impossible to beat him. Also, Pale Rider has aim assist as well. When Pale Rider sees something, I forgot how it worked. Do you remember how it worked? He was able to shoot exploding Djinn shots out of the air. Golden?
He had somewhat of a spidey sense.
Mm-hmm.
You're a robot again.
So he had somewhat of a spidey sense, meaning you shoot at him, he can kind of know where it's coming from and block it somehow. Not like block it.
What, react at a moment's notice?
Oh, now I remember. He could only shoot whenever people looked at him. Was that it?
Yes, it was. You had to look at him. That's exactly what it was. Because exploding Djinn told me this.
I can actually message up Djinn right now.
Cool. Yeah, do that. Because I'm pretty sure he had said something there about a hero that could just kill you by looking at you or you looking at him or something along those.
I'm asking him right now. If he doesn't respond, I'll ask Juggernaut. Man, I really gotta write everyone's powers down who contributes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You had to hear him.
You don't say. Well, we'll see what we can do about that.
Alright, now I'm gonna bid Exploding Djinn a little bit of goodbye. Now you all remember the three things that go on, right?
Shrinking environment, Pale Rider can't kill him, and civilians are stupid. That's about it, right?
Pretty much. So, pretty much what happens is, oh yeah, his gear was like a built-in megaphone.
Oh yeah.
His Pale Rider can amplify his voice, meaning it's one of his gears. What he can do, amplify his voice. Even if you manage to blow out your ears, you will still hear him, and he can still shoot at you.
Okay.
So, Dr. Destructo, we're going to be starting with you. What is your plan on saving the town from destruction from Pale Rider?
What happens when our beams intersect?
They'll cancel out. Oh yeah, you have a similar power to him.
I do have a very similar power now.
Funny
I
and
was never. Wait. Shouldn't we still introduce each other's powers?
Motherfucker!
Me and Echo haven't.
You know, I can't be expected to remember everything. You know what? We'll just blame Golden for now. You know, it's his fault.
Yeah, agreed. How dare you?
All right, Dr. Destructo, we'll start off with you. Explain your power to Echo.
My power allows me to shoot beams from my hands and feet. These beams shoot out in spiral patterns. When colliding with an object, they are split in half.
He got scissor hands. Copy that.
I think
Scissor laser hands.
I'm fairly
It's
sure
amazing.
that's it, right? Like your power is pretty straightforward.
I believe that is it.
Okay. Echo.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes.
Okay.
No, you can just quit.
I can just drop out right now and give you that fat dub.
Yep. Too much
Maybe
work.
maybe whenever we fight on Christmas.
Eh.
I am the sound king. I can emit sound from any part of my body at any frequency, waveform, wavelength, up to the volume of a rocket blasting off into orbit. There's a lot that I can do with it, as far as the manipulation of the waveform. I can make anything sound like anything coming from any direction. I can use subsonic sound. I can use supersonic sound. I can do sonic booms to physically blast targets with sound. Yeah.
Can you alter
that's about
sound that's like already present?
it. Say what?
Can you alter sound that's already present?
Nope.
No, I wait. I can.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
No, I said no.
Is that? Oh, I was about to
It'd
say,
be really convenient right about now.
Yeah, no, I can't mess with anyone else's sound. I can only, tune it out with more sound. If I tune it out with louder sound, it's about the best I got at manipulating other people's sounds.
Okay.
So, Destructo, we'll be starting off with you. How do you plan on combating Pale Rider?
Since our beams cancel each other's out, I believe my beams are quite powerful. I should be able to cancel his out. I would like to kind of get his attention and try to cancel as many of his beams as possible. Other than that, I'd say buildings that fall. Say something's gonna fall on someone, I can shoot that something with a beam. That object's gonna split in half, and it's going to avoid that person.
Oh, I see.
So like it's about to fall on them, I split it in half, and then it falls right around them.
Kind of your stereotypical anime swordsman who cuts the rock in half before it hits the family.
Essentially, but I can do that with laser beams from far away.
Ah, so Jedi.
Did it? How fast did his beams go?
You guys both move at the same speed.
His beams are also about the speed of like an adult throwing a baseball.
Yep. Well, wait.
Yeah, mine was pretty particular about how fast they went. And I don't think he said how fast his go.
Yeah, his is one tier above you. His are faster.
Talking about mine or Tails?
Is this only because he is a all-star, or?
Well, I would also give him that because he's an all-star, but no, his are faster because Season 1 people didn't have that restricting them. They were all at high speeds.
That is not fair. This is bullshit.
It's not
Ryder's actually cheating.
Yeah, that's just kind of bullshit.
The cheating.
I'm gonna give it to him because he's an all-star, but that's bullshit. Okay, well, I still feel like I have a pretty good chance at defending against his beams. I can just shoot ahead of them. I can get his attention, so most of his fire is on me. And then I can just defend myself. Like, shooting a beam that's coming straight at me is going to be a lot easier than shooting a beam that's heading towards someone else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I can shoot objects falling on people. I guess I can shout commands at people. I doubt they're going to listen. Is he can't fly, so he is on his feet, running around.
Yep.
I can shoot I can shoot the ground beneath him, split it open, and make him fall down.
All right, that's
He's gonna
pretty
fall in between that ice and rock. Then, there's plenty of rubble nearby. I can fill that hole in. Maybe I can mute some of his sound.
You're gonna try like bulldozing him with dirt?
If only temporarily slowing him down, I believe that is a valid option, yes.
I feel like you presented some pretty valid options. Golden?
Echo. Okay. I thought you were saying like his turn.
No, I'm asking for Golden's opinion.
Yeah, he's given.
I don't really have any questions. It seems all very straightforward. Very, very good, valid options.
I like it. And unlike Pale Rider, Destructo can shoot anything he wants.
Yes.
Oh, he has a restriction on what he can shoot.
Yeah, pretty much people inside a building have to hear him.
So as long as I'm the loudest thing around, and nobody else is really in danger.
No, he can shout. Everyone who hears it he's able to shoot.
Oh, so as long as okay.
And he's got the gear helping him out with that.
I can hit him, and like if I shoot him, is he gonna target me? Like if I anger him?
Yes, he will.
I can hit him and lead him away from the people.
Which both you and Echo can do.
Yeah, I feel like I have a better shot at defending myself against him, though.
Echo? How can you defend against Pale Rider?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is affect his aim, as well as clear the civilian population in a way they can understand. So, what is one thing you remember about all those superhero movies where the civilians are running around in the way of the heroes? They all seem to move out of the way of an immediate threat, correct? Like, only when a threat is immediate. They don't really respond to warnings, but if something's blowing up in their face, they're like, oh god, I gotta get out of here, right?
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get right up on that man, all up in his grill. And I'm going to make the loudest sound that I can. Not sonic boom. I'm not gonna sonic boom. Just straight rocket blast on my person. Straight up into the sky. Just to make it to where it's harder for people to hear him, and also to get people to say, oh God, I shouldn't go that way, I'm going to go the other way, and get people out of the way of this man and the havoc he's wreaking.
Wait, so you're gonna make a huge sound blast where you're at, and that'll make everyone go, oh, she gotta go the other way?
Yes, and also it's going to prevent them from being able to hear the guy along with me, hopefully.
Well, that's what Pale Rider's gear does. Back in Season 1, his biggest counter was people taking out their own hearing, either just by punching their own ears, or by exploding their Jin, blowing them up. This gear countered that.
Oh, so he has access to that gear in this match?
Yep, even if, we forgot about that for Juggernaut, but for him, he has it, yes. And that's exactly...
Have you ever get gear, by the way?
No.
So, what is said gear?
It's his voice amp. It makes, when he shouts, it shouts louder. It's a big-ass megaphone. Except,
Does it
also...
shout, does it shout louder than a rocket taking off?
Probably not. But, however, the thing that it does is whenever you hear him, you'll hear him in your body. You'll know it. Pretty much, like, even if you can't hear him, his voice is inside of you.
There is still that range difference, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so literally, my plan as to getting people out of the range with my sound would still be effective in saving the civilian population. I would simply have to worry about myself being close enough to the guy that he would be able to target me still. Safe to say, both judges?
Yeah, I'd say, Golden, what do you think? You think Echo can make a sound loud enough to where it overwrites his voice?
Probably not to override the voice, but like still do a good job on overriding the voice to where it's not as loud. Like, for example, the people inside the buildings that already have a hard time hearing him, I don't think they would be able to hear him because they're just going to hear like just basically just a rocket ship just taking off basically.
And the people outside, they just hear a big noise, and it's hearing both of them at the same time.
He's gonna make everybody in the city go deaf.
But they're safe.
But deaf. If not dead from their eardrums exploding.
Nah, it's not that powerful.
I would feel like some of them...
They could stop an all-star.
I would feel like some of them would have some ear damage. However, though, not too many of them to the point where it's kind of negligible.
The one's probably around the guy's immediate area with get some tinnitus.
Well, those guys are gonna get killed anyway.
Alright.
So I guess in that case, all I would really need to worry about is his ability to target me. And if I'm worried about his ability to target me, I would use subsonic sounds to make it harder for him to concentrate on a given target and make it hard for him to shout and to articulate his words and use his power.
Hold on.
Destructo, what you got to say?
The fuck is a subsonic sound?
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Chapter 1.
Would you like to, or should I?
I'll let you.
Okay. So your ears are actually your source of balance, and the cochlea, it has liquid inside of it, and that's how it keeps your balance. I can shoot waves of sound that are fine-tuned to that cochlea to where you can no longer balance, you feel sick, you get a headache. Even if you can't hear it, it works through conduction through the bones in your ear. It's actually currently being experimented with military-grade anti-riot weapons.
I would accept that ability. I just want you to call it something else.
You want me to call it something else?
I don't think you know what subsonic means.
Subsonic means that it's below...
Subsonic means slower than sound.
Yeah, it's a lower frequency.
You can't have sound slower than sound, buddy.
Huh?
Can't have sound that is slower than sound.
He's saying
subsonic is a speed.
Destructo is saying that when you say subsonic, Destructo is saying when you call it subsonic, It makes it sound like you're making the sound travel at a lower speed. So essentially, instead of the sound getting there in 1 second, it gets there in 10.
Excuse me.
Pretty much everything is subsonic except for planes going faster than the speed of sound.
I had the word mixed up. It's actually ultrasound. Is what I'm speaking.
Yeah, ultrasonic. Even that you can say. That makes sense.
So
Ultrasounds, like but it makes me think of babies too much.
Either way, we know what he's talking about.
Doing you what's called a marketing pro move. Okay.
Either way, we know what move he's doing. Okay.
All right. So, any questions about how I plan to tackle Pale Rider?
I've got a question. So you did say like, he will target you afterwards, and you can use the sense of balance. He's an all-star, so it's going to be less effective. He's got aim assist, which helps him out, and eventually he's going to hit you. What are you going to do when you end up getting hit?
I do count on my sonic booms moving faster than his beams. So I do plan to shoot sonic booms out of my feet as needed to deflect and dodge. Will my sonic boom affect the path of his ray?
No.
Okay.
It's energy.
So yeah, in that case, I will very much so have to aim and dodge, and even potentially, now that I've got some clearance, now that I'm no longer concerned about civilians in the immediate area, I could even use sonic booms to manipulate rubble from buildings to block his death ray.
Give me an example.
He's shooting a beam at me. I see that he's aiming, and I hear his voice, so I know it's coming. I can sonic boom out of my feet, rupturing the concrete below me, and I can do it again to where it throws the rubble all around me to deflect his beam.
Okay.
And then I can move spots to give myself some more rubble and some more debris.
Now, here is my question, and I think I'll go back to Destructo for this too. What happens when you get hit? Pale Rider has the highest attack in the game because he deals flat damage as well as disintegration.
How many hits does it take to kill us?
A couple.
Like, literally 2?
Like maybe 4.
Okay.
Taking just one shot from Pale Rider was bad for the Season 1 heroes. Juggernaut couldn't deal with it. Exploding to Jin couldn't deal with it.
Well, is that for both of us, or are we focusing on his?
I'll ask you, Echo.
Okay. I think that as a hero, there's a certain level of self-sacrifice that must be prepared to be made. I would avoid his attacks the best I could, but I mean, if Juggernaut couldn't take it, if Exploding Djinn didn't have a defense for it, and if my sound has no effect on his beams, then there's really no hope for what I do to, except for try to recover the best I can. But more than anything, that's what being a hero is about putting yourself in harm's way and saving the people around you.
All right. Destructo, what are you planning on doing when you get hit? Because you're not going to be able to block.
He's not going to hit me.
Eventually, you're not going to get a perfect 1-to-1 block.
Eventually, I'll get hit. Maybe. And in such cases, I ain't no bitch. I fight through it.
Hell yeah.
Alright. Golden, what do you think?
I'm thinking about the two contestants' powers, and through my mind, I feel like Destructo has both like a better resistance to it and even a worse resistance to Pale Rider's ability.
Well, what do you mean?
Even worse resistance.
Because what I was talking, what we're not talking about. What I was thinking about Pell Rider could do is that, not Pell Rider, fuck.
Destructo.
Yes, Doctor Destructo. What he could do is that, like, let's say that like he were to get hit in the toe, which like that probably won't happen, or like let's say like he got hit by it like in like the hand or something. Then, no, normally because you get hit by Pell Rider's little laser beam, it will disintegrate going even further up the arm. What Destructo can do is just kind of stop it right there.
Oh, you got a good point.
But the thing is, though, is that using that technique a little bit too many times kind of destroys your body in the process.
But it also saves your body.
Yeah, it's better than literally better.
Which is why I said a better and worse resistance to it.
Hurt yourself to save yourself.
If my hand was destroyed, could I still shoot beams out of my stub?
No. Your hand's gone, it's gone.
I shoot beams out of my limbs though, like, so if the hand's gone, the limbs still shoot.
Nope. You lose your hands or feet,
Okay.
you lose the limb. You lose the ability to shoot from there.
Well, good thing I have 3 others.
So both make pretty good points. Any other things you want to add, Golden?
No, not really.
All right then. Let's move on to the next one. How are you guys planning on messing with each other? Destructo, we'll start with you.
Oh yes, we are in the same scenario.
Yep. It's always the second question.
I kill Echo.
Huh.
I can everything I can do to the other guy, I can do to Echo. I can knock him into a hole. I can open a hole beneath him. I can shoot him with beams. You can shoot him with 2 beams or 2 people.
Can I ask a question about
Yes.
the question? Is it necessary for us to mess with one another, considering this is a defensive category mission and that we both kind of seem to have the same goal?
Yes, it is necessary.
Okay, fair enough. So
Yep.
I got 2 asses would like to be shooting.
The funny thing is, both Destructo and Pale Rider's power come from the same root power. A root power.
Brother.
A root power is essentially the same category of power when I'm making your power. For instance, fire is in the same category as lava.
Just beams, I believe.
These guys got the power of throwing hands far distances.
What shape are his beams?
That's a juggernaut. A normal beam shape. I don't know what you want me to say.
Oh, mine are spiral shapes, so I think mine are like wider.
Oh, his are straight lined. And the
Yeah,
spiral,
mine are wider
the
then.
spiral
I feel like
for
they'd be even better for defense.
spiral for you makes them harder to dodge.
Well, like they go in a spiral, right? So they cover more area as they travel, which means like if you're shooting at me, I got like bigger beams to try and block with.
No, you're the same width.
But they travel in a spiral, so like
Yes.
you know, so they're pretty fast traveling in a spiral. They're gonna hit the beam. Like if they travel in a bigger area, I don't. Picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm picking up. Destructo.
Okay, yeah, they're better for defense.
Honestly,
How are you?
I agree with what you're saying. If his beams are wider, then he should be able to defend Pale Rider's attack while also having some semblance of offense with that exact same beam. Because Pale Rider's beam is going to be negated, and the part of Dr. Destructo's beam that gets hit by Pale Rider's will be negated, but he'll still have a fat little bit of beam left that wasn't negated every time he shoots.
No, the entire beam will be negated once it gets hit, but you do have a point in saying that the spiral does make it easier for you to block.
Yeah.
We'll
But it's probably one of the higher DPSs of this season. I believe I can both mess with Echo and defend myself quite capably here. I rolled a pretty good scenario.
So you're planning on like making buildings fall on him, make holes appear on him, or just straight up shoot him?
No, I can make him fall in holes. I can make the other guy fall in holes. I can defend myself against these beams.
I would like to throw a cog in all of that argument.
Which is?
For one, if I'm able to have any sort of reaction time to Pale Rider's beams, then Dr. Destructo's beams will feel like dodging a punch from a baby. Because
Good luck trying to dodge both.
I react to things at the speed of sound. My initial action, which is takes almost no concentration. I'm able to do it on a whim. It doesn't take any build up or anything like that. The moment I see that guy shooting at me with his hands, I can sonic boom from my feet into the air in any direction I want to. So I believe that I should be much more a mobile fighter in this than either him nor Pale.
Let's save that for question 3, but I'll keep that in mind.
10-4.
Alright, so Destructo, those are your plans, messing with Echo, things falling on him, the holes, actually hitting him?
He has a reaction time of, like, he has higher reaction time because of his power?
No.
He was saying he can move himself.
You both have the same reaction time.
Pretty quickly.
Okay, you know that
He was kind of
first
implying that he can react faster because of his power, is what I was asking.
No. I simply, that first muscle twitch of yours, whenever you react to something, is a sonic boom of mine shooting out of my feet. So I get a lot farther. I react at the same amount of time, but if I got like a literal baseball hurling at my head, you got time to react.
He's saying he's saying that he can dodge faster because you have to turn and run.
The same problem with me. If his feet gone, he doesn't have power.
Yeah, that is true. We'll keep that in mind for both. But what Echo is saying is that when you dodge, you have to like turn and run, and that might not dodge well. When Echo dodges, he's already flying backwards.
Okay. So he's pretty mobile.
Yes.
That's the idea. Okay.
So, Echo, how are you going to mess with Destructo?
Well, let's hit him with that super ultrasonic mega sound. Seriously though, I would like to use my ultrasound to fuck with his ability to logic and reason and his balance and his aim, so that maybe he's not so good at deflecting Pale Rider's blows. You know, instead of having to hit that beam of light with a baseball, it's like hitting a beam of light with a baseball when you're drunk a little bit. So, not as easy.
All right.
And,
Argument. His big sounds also make it harder for what's his name to hit me. I'm getting benefit from that.
It does, but Pale Rider does have resistance. All-star resistance.
I'm still getting benefit from, like, it's harder for him to hit me because I'm so muted out from the sound.
Argument to his argument. The type of sound I said I would use for him is outside his hearing spectrum, so it would not mess with the sound waves coming out his ears.
Well, you're still making big booms from your initial attack.
Yeah, but that's whenever he's attacking me, not whenever he's attacking you, buddy.
You can't decide when you're doing it. Well, then you're not defending the citizens.
All right, hold up. So, Golden, I'm going to need you to talk on this one.
Yes.
So, I believe that Echo can decide when he shoots his different beams. It's just there have to be different attacks entirely. His first attack, like let's say sonic boom, there's a sonic boom. Then the next attack, the sonic frequencies, then that's the sonic frequencies. That's how we've been treating it this whole time, right?
Yes.
Now my question is, I don't think he can decide whether or not specific people can hear it or not.
Probably not specific people, but I'm guessing Pale Rider's voice, it's probably a normal 30 adult man pretty deep, right? If anything, he can just use a high frequency. I think that's how that works, to where it's like a higher pitch.
You do inverted pitch.
I have complete mastery of pitch, so I should, if I choose to, if he's only able to reach via pitch, I should be able to reach a better pitch, whether it's a lower frequency or higher frequency that nullifies the sound.
What was your goal for this?
My goal for this was that you asked me how I was going to mess with him.
Yes.
Right? Now, that was the question we were at. And somehow we got onto like the semantic debate of exactly, can I use my sound and when and where and how and decipher. So what I'm getting at is that if Pale's attacks come from sound, there shouldn't be a sound in existence regarding anything less than a rocket taking off that he could produce that I can't. I was assuming that whenever you said the sound comes from inside of them, that it was some sort of psychic sound that I could hear in my brain. But I mean, whenever you tell me that my power is to make sound come out of any part of my body I choose, I could literally make my eardrums. So if I have to hear it physically, I should be able to stop it physically.
All right, and that's more of a defense against Pale Rider than attacking Destructo. But
right. We kind of somehow got onto the topic of Destructo and his frequencies and how he attacks. But yeah, no. As far as my plans for Dr. Destructo, I would definitely hit him with ultrasounds and get him targeting me instead of Pale, so that maybe he gets hit by Pale's beams. I would also make it harder for him to block Pale's beams. And overall, I could just really be a nuisance. I could really make the guy's head ring.
All right, Golden. Do you think Echo's able to block the Pale Rider's attacks like that?
I don't really know, because like whenever you said like they like feel the sound, I thought it was like less of like the actual sounds like physically, and more just like reverberations from the ground.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh.
If that hits you, then if that hits you in the slightest, Pale Rider can hit you. However, Echo's saying he's gonna make an even stronger vibration to counter that.
Which should be within my realm of power.
I think that's how sound works. Yeah, that should be how that works.
So I could, whenever you first said it, I was like, okay, I have a clear advantage here, and it kind of got written. I don't, but I feel like I still kind of do. If I have to hear the guy, then I can just make it to where I don't hear the guy.
It really just depends on how strong the reverberation that Pale Rider emits actually is.
Pale Rider's is from a gear, not from a power, meaning Echo can override it. I'd say that Echo can override it, and at that point, it's more of a reaction of how the heck are you gonna react in time when he's talking. But I believe he still can block it. Okay, then. Let's move on to question 3. So, Dr. Destructo, how are you planning on stopping Echo's counters?
I believe no matter how much dodging he does, dodging both me and Pale Rider is going to be very difficult. But, if the situation just seems so hopeless that I can't hit him, I can just focus on defending.
I was more asking on, like, Echo said that he's going to hit you with those high frequencies to mess with your balance and aim and all that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
How do you plan on stopping that?
Earplugs.
Because you don't actually have to hear it. It'll absorb through the bones in your face.
Yeah. More like he's kind of shaking you in a way with the sound to where it messes with you.
There's not really much I can do, to be completely fair. Just keep my distance.
Alright, keep the distance. That plan does kind of work if it weren't for the fact of, the area shrinking.
Oh, yes.
That and I made a point that in my first move, I get within close proximity of Dr. Destructo, so every
not really anything I can do.
Distance that he has from Pale Rider. I didn't mean Dr. Destructo. I'm next to Pale Rider, so if Dr. Destructo is fleeing me, that means he's also fleeing the cause of casualties.
If it hurts, I can kind of get over that, so I can just focus on defense from Pale Rider.
Which I believe will be severely hindered by his aim being affected by the ultrasound.
If we weren't supers, we'd be strong as fuck.
Yeah, normally that would really mess with people. It still messes with you, just not to the extent of regular people.
Yeah, so like it's a hindrance, but I can get over it.
Normal people, they'd go like, whoa, and they like flop on the ground like they just got lightheaded all of a sudden. You would go like, it's more like someone just hit you in the head with a rock. You're like, what the hell?
I'd like to think that to a regular person, it's like severe alcohol poisoning. To you, it's like a really good prom night. Just a little bit lesser. You're right there on the cusp of severe poisoning, but you'll make it. Have a story to tell the next day.
Okay, Echo, how do you stop Destructo's messes?
Well, consider I like to believe that I've done a lot for his advances toward me whenever I hit him with the ultrasound. His aim is going to be a lot shittier, and between that and my sonic boom dodges, I think I'll be able to handle dodging him as well as Pale. Considering if they're both aiming at me at the same time, his aim's going to be a little bit weaker. I don't have to focus as much on his aim. I can focus more on Pale, and if I dodge, then I'm out of the way of both beams if they're shooting at me at the same time. It's not like I have to dodge one and then dodge the other. He didn't say he was going to be timing his beams to my dodges, so...
Well, I mean, they don't have to say it because it's kind of implied.
Okay, so if he's going to be timing his beams to my dodges, then, I mean, again, his beams are going to be like a slow baseball thrown from a drunk stepdad. So I can pretty well dodge that. And even in midair, my dodge, like, I don't have to be attached to the ground to dodge, is like another big thing about Echo. Is, like, once I dodge, if I need to dodge again, I can just dodge again. Sonic booms are going to blast me whichever direction, whether I'm making contact with physical matter or not. Just the air around me will push me, so to speak. So if I have to double dodge, I can just double dodge.
Okay. All right, then, Golden, what do you think?
Yes. I have a question for Echo.
Shoot.
So, you said that you're able to dodge Dr. Destructo's whenever he's trying to make a hole under you and all that pretty well, especially with the double dodges in the air.
Yes.
What are you gonna do whenever the area gets to a point where the holes on the ground that are already there will, no matter what, hinder your movement?
At that point, then I'm in the same area as these other two, so they will also be working with hindered movement. I will try my best to get to stable footing. Wherever is the largest area altogether, that's where I would go. Whichever's been left mostly intact, I would use my sonic booms to guide me there.
Okay.
I don't really need to move too much. I can just stay wherever is stable and stay there.
That's all I got.
All right, are there any are there things that you're thinking before we head off to the booth? Golden.
No.
Because I've got two in mind. One revolves around Echo with his dodging, where if he gets attacked, he can easily dodge, right?
All I have to do is see it coming and have time for an initial reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's time for me to react, my reaction should be more than fast enough, is basically what I'm getting at.
Eventually, Echo's gonna get hit, and at that point, Echo's progress in defending is still 0.
What do you mean?
You're taking the heat off of Pale Rider pretty well. But what about the people? That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. He can't really defend people.
Yeah, the people, as time goes on, they're going to be more enclosed to the area, correct?
Oh, it's just enclosing you. It's just enclosing you guys.
Okay, so well, I mean, my initial goal was to get all the people the hell away from Pale. Use it. That was like my first move, is getting people away from Pale with just ear-shattering noise.
I argue
So
they're
that
stupid enough to run towards the noise.
It's A tier.
it is.
Yes, they are.
Okay, yeah, he's just making it harder for them. He's killing more people.
But okay, so you're telling me that if people feel physical pain going in one direction, that they are so much jackasses that they would continue heading toward that pain, toward more pain? That I doubt. Even cattle. That's how we heard cattle is with pain. Little shock on the ass cheek, and boom, there they go. So if these people are on the same mental capacity as cattle, I can still herd them effectively using my
If it were C or B tier, yes, that would work. A tier, yeah, they're kind of actively working against you. Some are, not all. Not all.
To this option?
There is an S tier, yes.
I want to know what S tier
Oh,
civilians do.
S tier wouldn't listen to anything
Just
that you
kill
guys
themselves.
do. S tier wouldn't
Yeah,
listen
they
to anything you guys do. But Echo, that does clear up a little bit of the things that I was thinking. You're right. I forgot about the boom at the beginning. That will help get rid of some of them. Trying to get them out before Pale Rider attacks. It's just that after Pale Rider attacks, you've got no power there. So that's your plan of getting him out before he attacks.
I would say that in the event that we have a large amount of civilians inside the area of Pale Rider, that I would stop focusing my ultrasounds on Dr. Destructo and start focusing them on Pale Rider. Just if it slows him down in killing these civilians, like anything, just to save civilian lives.
Which Destructo, and now I have a question for you. So, you're planning on blocking his beams, right?
Countering, yes.
The spiral makes it better. What are you going to do when you're stuck on the defensive and you have to manage to hold your own, because there's a lot of stuff. As in,
I find the closest mirror and start reflecting his beams at Echo.
that don't work.
It does work, because that's how my beams work. We established this last time.
I thought that the beam would just cut the mirror in half. Using Pale Rider's
It
ability.
would.
No, we established this last time. My beams act like light. I can reflect them around. I know this better than Echo, because it's basically my own power.
You're saying that you shoot the beam of energy, find a mirror,
and
it bounces
I
off?
can get a mirror and use it to defend myself. Echo wouldn't know about this. Since I'm basically fighting myself, I would know it.
I think I know what you're saying. You're drawing back to the water fight where the water messed with your beam.
Yeah, and you made the argument that it basically acts like a light.
Yeah, it was a good example to use. Your beams are energy, and water has matter smashing into this energy. It can still go through. It's just gonna mess with it. Light was a good example. If you hit a mirror, it's still going to break it.
Well, I can still use rubble to defend myself.
Yeah, that works too.
Energy being more effective at deflecting energy than matter.
Yeah, which is why he can block his beams, because they're both made of energy.
Yeah.
Well, would my sonic booms have any effect on dude's beams then, considering they are like an abundant source of sound energy?
No.
Yours are just sound. Mine are like literally the same kind of energy. Like they're both beams.
Yep. But Destructo, back to my question.
Fire.
There's
Yes,
a lot that you have to do. A lot of multiple things that you got to send out. You got to mess with Echo. You got to block the beams, and you got to save the people. What's your plan from being completely overwhelmed? Because it's only going to get harder as each of you lose limbs throughout the fight.
I can say there's a street full of people. I can create cracks in that street just around the edge of it so they can't run towards me. And they stay away from danger.
Essentially making a chasm separating you from the battlefield.
I can segregate, for lack of a better term, the people.
Okay. That would put pressure off of you. Golden, any questions before we head out?
No, not really. I don't have that many questions to ask. Time.
Destructo, Echo, do you both think that your arguments make you win?
Yeah.
Yep.
Last things to say, nothing? Okay, then.
I do not. Oh. Only that. Okay, there is one thing I would like to add. In the event of close civilian contact and Pale Rider being unobstructed, able to aim at a civilian that's within my grasp, I could sonic boom into the civilian and pull them out of the way of the beams.
I would also like to argue that Echo is probably, if not permanently damaging these people, quite honestly putting them in harm's way.
A little bit?
No more than a beam of imminent death blasting straight at them.
Okay, yeah, but I'm not hitting them. I can choose, like, where I'm aiming. Your sounds, you can't, like, really aim that. You can choose a direction, but it's still gonna hit them if you shoot near them.
It's always less than lethal unless I put that sonic boom inside of them, so I'm not actually killing anyone.
I don't know, buddy.
Alright. I think we've said all that needs to be said. Have fun in here while me and Golden take a chat.
Okay.
10-4.
I didn't go to the wrong voice chat. You went.
Yeah,
to the
you
wrong
went to the
voice
wrong
chat.
voice chat, dumbass. Alright, so. What do you think?
In a defense match of defending the city and civilians against Pale Rider, I feel like the winner would come out to Dr. Destructo.
I'm also putting my edge on him, too.
Main reason why is, yes, Echo can clear out the civilians at a very faster rate than Dr. Destructo, and can honestly has more control over the crowd than he does. Dr. Destructo has a more way of, like, and sort of way to explain it better, taunting Pale Rider to where he attacks him. He's able to block his energy balls or beams very well. And let's say that because he's also destroying the city. Echo doesn't really have any way to block falling debris.
Yeah, because in this situation, Pale Rider can both fight them and attack the city at the same time.
Yes.
You know, he just does one.
Is he limited? Is he limited to one? Like exploding the Jin. Is he limited to one projectile at a time?
Yes, both of them.
Okay.
And so
What about
both of them have ways of blocking the shots. Destructo can block them midair. Echo can block the sound, can block from even hearing the sound, but I don't think that reaction time is going to be good enough. Because how are you going to react whenever someone talks? Because it's a gear, too. You might not even see his mouth move and just hear, ha, all of a sudden. And you have to react and shoot out counter sound at that time. You have to shoot it before.
Not to mention, while he's in the air, he is able to counteract reverberations, but he has a spidey sense, so he kind of knows where you're going.
Exactly. Like when Echo dodges, he'll move out of the way, but Pale Rider's already aiming right there.
Yeah. Dr. Destructo, on the other hand, even though he can't really move, he can deflect some of the... not deflect, he's able to block some of the attacks that Pale Rider has, and he's just kind of there doing solid, good defense.
Because Destructo his spiral blocks a higher chance than that. Echo, he can dodge and react all he wants, but dodging and reacting against an all-star will get you killed.
Not to mention, what if you dodge and that block, like, kills a civilian? That's one less civilian that you have to save.
And going on to the next thing, Dr. Destructo can protect them, like he said. Create one big chasm separating the civilians from him. If he notices a building is falling, which is kind of all he can do, he can split the building in half, making it to where there's less people dead. Echo can kind of move the building off to another side with a strong enough blast, maybe.
That'll take too much concentration.
Yeah, that'd take way too big of a power spike and leave him vulnerable. Dr. Destructo can just send a shot at it and hope it works.
Mm-hmm.
Ow, 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 ow.
I just feel like
Ow!
in fighting Pale Rider, I feel like Echo has a better shot at it, but in the defense category of protecting the city, I feel like Dr. Destructo is the winner on that one.
Yeah, he's got a little point on that because Echo did say he can't. In terms of messing with the other person, Echo can mess with Destructo way better.
Yes.
His aim will be off in trying to hit a building. You're hitting a building. Granted, it will be off. He will miss a couple of them. His missing a couple is still better than Echo, because Echo, he was planning on booming all of them away, but it's A tier. That's not going to boom everyone away.
Yeah.
And if they don't do that, he said he could rush up and get them. Now he is in a crowd of people.
Yes.
Which means his sound has to be much lower. And Destructo pointed out, he's hurting these people when he uses these moves like that.
Yes.
You're right, he can deal with Pale Rider in a one-on-one match. Way better, because all Destructo can really do is kind of defend, while Echo can completely block it at times by just constantly shooting sound out, keeping himself safe. Echo can just be constantly shooting sound, keeping himself safe, that way he doesn't hear his voice. Destructo can't and will eventually get hit. In a one-on-one fight, Destructo would lose to Pale Rider.
Yes.
But in the defense match, Echo can't really defend much. Sure, Destructo will go down faster eventually by losing the limbs. Both can defend very well. That I think it's kind of irrelevant how fast each of them lose their casting limbs.
Yes.
Because Echo can produce sound throughout his whole body, which means he's not really as affected by the disintegration as Destructo with the 4 casting limbs.
Mm-hmm.
But they can both block pretty well to the point where they both get hit the same amount of times. They would both go down pretty much to the damage.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much got the winner.
Okay.
Okay. Moving back in.
By me, I'm gonna throw my cactus self at you, and it's not gonna be fun.
Why are you talking about cactus?
Why are you dead, man?
Cactus.
My cactus powers, that's what we're talking about, and how amazing they are.
Yeah, cactus.
Can I just say that I love this guy already?
Hey, that's cool.
Love the cactus power too.
Like fucking cactus power ST, number 1 power, and all this consequences.
What is the verdict?
So, we have decided on the winner now. The winner really came down to who can complete the objective better than the other. And it was kind of a losing battle once we started adding up all of the different tallies, and really it coming down to not a 1v1 against Pale Rider. Because of that, Golden?
The winner of today's defense match is Dr. Destructo.
Ooh. Splitting things in half is a lot more versatile than you might think.
It really came down to it. In a one-on-one, Echo can fight Echo can fight Pale Rider way better. Echo can constantly emit sound to keep him from being hit. He can mess with his aim. He can do all of that stuff and keep him safe in a one-on-one match. Destructo can block his beams. Eventually, he'll get hit and die. However,
We kind of talked about that too.
This was a defense match, however. Dr. Destructo can do much more defense for the people than Echo. Create big chasms to keep them at bay, split the buildings coming at them, block the shots, and block the shots going at him and the people as best they can. The spiral gives them a bigger chance on hitting. Echo's boom can send them away, but A-tier difficulty is really messing with him on that. Not to mention, there was a big point on that of Echo's sound does also end up hurting these people a little bit. Not too much, but even still, it's not counting towards you. And so, because
Saved by the scenario.
And because of that, while Echo could deal with Pale Rider much better, Destructo could complete the objective better.
GG.
GG.
So, 2 points are awarded to Destructo. Echo, I'm going to ask you, are you challenging him?
Yes.
Challenge! Alright, Echo, you know the rules. Do you want to switch up the difficulty, the shrinking border, or the location?
He can also pick the All-Star too, can't he?
No, that's part of the match.
Oh, I thought you could choose which All-Star.
Nope. Normally you can. Not in this.
Choose, but like rotate.
You can.
Oh.
Not in this one. This one specifically requires the All-Star.
Specifically requires this All-Star, not a different All-Star?
Yep.
Okay.
You know what's always done well for me? Changing up that location. Let's see where else we can bring this to.
Changing up
Is it
the
always going to be a city? Wait. I want to help you here. I'm pretty sure it's always going to be a city. It's just going to change whether it's like this icy tundra city.
Oh, so it's still just going to be a city?
Yeah,
Yep.
I want to help you here. Like that's going to be really boring if you switch it. Then you're like, oh.
Hey, you shouldn't have told him that. Then the same outcome would have...
Now you're in a different city.
Well, I won for boring outcomes.
Well,
honestly,
Echo?
he's got nothing to lose here. Even if he loses the challenge or wins the challenge, he's still not.
Yep. No matter what, you still have your 2 points.
What are you changing?
I guess let's change that difficulty.
Changing that difficulty. Now be careful. You might get S tier difficulty.
S-tier?
Yep, I'm aware. But, I mean, if it's going to turn it from a city to a different city,
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to do.
All right, then.
Cold
Golden.
city to a not cold city.
Golden, to the booth!
I am the fastest. Only the speediest is speed.
All right. It's 18, remember?
Yes.
Let's see what difficult.
Plus 8.
Because let's see, there's F. We got rid of D. C, B, A, and S. 5, right?
Yes.
15 in total. What difficulties did we get rid of?
F and D. This
Me.
round after round 2 we would be getting rid of what difficulty is it? C and B?
No, D's not even in.
Oh. Then we got rid of F. Next one's gonna be C and B, then A. Right? That's how that goes.
Alright. He got C tier difficulty. Which is a down step from A. These people are much more likely to listen.
Yes.
Well, let's see how well this turns out.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
an army of
That's why it's
cactuses.
great
It's
power.
stupid.
Hello.
They're probably so confused. Every time they come back, we're talking about cactuses.
Alright, so...
It's actually cacti.
Okay, so... we've come back. Echo. The difficulty that has been re-rolled. You cannot get A tier anymore. Which means the only other possibilities were C, B, and S. 3 different ones. Your difficulty that you will now be competing in is C tier difficulty. This is the lowest possible difficulty.
Yay!
Meaning, these people are much more likely to listen and run away from whatever the heck is going on.
Sweet.
So, I'll give each of you some questions again. Destructo, argue your case on any changes that the difficulty does for you. Echo, argue yours after. Destructo, we'll start with you.
It doesn't give me any kind of benefit that he can't do inherently.
Nothing?
Like, I could shout commands at people, but that isn't gonna help me any more than... Like, I could still make chasms and such, but it doesn't really affect me at all.
Okay. Echo.
Okay, so I would, instead of just trying to herd people with noise pain, I think that it would be a little bit more effective at the difficulty level to actually give a message to the people, to stay as far away from the violence as possible, to stay out of crowded buildings, tall high rises, stay away from anything taller than they are, because there's a huge casualty percentage on people just getting crushed by falling debris. Oh, make them aware of the threat of Pale Rider shooting things from his hands using sound, and to be wary of Dr. Destructo for no reason. I'm gonna say Dr. Destructo is a and to stay away from him.
They won't if anything that helps him, but 2, they won't know who Dr. Destructor is.
All right, stay away from people shoot beams out of hands. Not your friend.
Okay, Golden. Does this bring up anything does you have any questions or anything?
No, not questions. I just see how this enlightens for both heroes.
Mm-hmm. Now they both have to worry
shouting to people to get away does give him some benefit. I feel like it also makes it easier for me to defend the people. Less people to defend.
And so
I would also like to point out that, and this kind of ties into the last round. I try not to ever disagree with you guys, your justice decisions. I pretty much, accept it as final. I don't really argue my case after the fact, because that would be dumb and it would take forever. But one thing I would like to point out is that Dr. Destructo's only real defense against Pale Rider has been perfectly aiming slower beams at his faster beams. So whenever I messed with his aim, he should die. Like, pretty soon. He's got to keep threading that needle while he's drunk off his ass.
Better than nothing, buddy.
Whereas I simply need the sheer moment to react to be able to dodge both of their beams. Just pointing that out.
Yeah, we knew that when making the decision.
Yeah, I was sure that you took it into consideration. I just figured that you would rule that Destructo would be dead due to that, but
yeah,
Judge Booth is Judge Booth.
Mm-hmm. We did rule that Destructo would end up getting killed, pretty much.
Okay. 10-4. Oh, well, and that my life doesn't matter. I can just die, right?
Well, you both will die eventually in this fight.
Well, in that case, I'm going to Sonic Boom directly into Pale Rider, stick both of my fingers in his ears, and Sonic Boom the shit out of his brain. And then I'm going to jump away.
Can't defeat him.
That's a good thought to do, but as I said before, All-Stars can't be defeated. You getting close to him even with the booms gives Pale Rider just the close enough distance to be able to hit you and rapid fire you to death.
Was I able to Sonic Boom his brain before he rapid fired him?
No.
Alright, well in that case I don't do that. Yeah, I'm just gonna bank on, a more willing civilian population, me being able to alert the entire massive city area to the threat being more than enough to give me the W in this.
Destructo, how do the citizens being more willing help you?
What's the question?
How do the citizens being more willing help you?
They can see a giant chasm in the ground and say, "I'm gonna go the other way," or I can kind of direct them towards safety by making paths. I can make that's a thought. I can make what's it called? Like paths in the ground for them to go in. There's like a word for it. Like what trenches? I can make trenches for them to travel in. Then they'd be like undercover as they.
You
as
mean
they run away.
ditches?
Trenches.
Oh, okay.
With my power, I can split the ground and make trenches for them to run away.
That would be useful. It would take a good amount of time, but yes, that would be useful. And
It
they
is an
will.
option.
Control, like the intensity of how hard he splits something. He can make something
Yeah.
a ditch or a trench, or he can split the world in half, basically.
My
Not the-
power is like almost at its limit for strength. Like I don't really have to worry about a power limit because I think he said it was like 96% of my power.
we
I
always
could use.
we always assume that 70% is available in the tournament.
Well, you told me
I'm-
96.
Yeah, I told you when I gave you your power, but for the tournament, it's always 70%.
I got a much lower
That makes
percentage
sense.
given the
Yeah,
70
it's
or 70.
It's in the rules. It's in the rules in the top.
What
guess.
I'm getting is not that his power is not enough to make the trenches in which he speaks. I'm
But yes,
concerned.
I can control the.
It means he has to use
Correct.
more. He has to use more of that power to do that. Yes. If
Alright.
if lawyer were here, he would have a field day with that move.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's the potentiality he splits too much and just kills a massive amount of the civilian population.
I can't really split the earth. Like I can split a building in half. It's like the extent I
Also,
believe.
all these civilians being in a nice long trench would make hell if Pale Rider happened to find his way in said trench and
It's better than nothing.
a German trench with a shotgun. We would have the Paris Accords after what happened.
Echo,
Would
how
you rather
do
be in no man's land?
you got a little bit of a point? But Echo, I know you've already said this, but let's say it again. How do the people being more willing help you?
Okay, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I got a phone call. Okay, so obviously, I would be able to communicate with people all across the region effectively. I believe that clear, effective communication, letting them know of the threat and its location, would be more than enough to save mass civilian lives.
Okay. Now,
So,
there is one thing. Like, yes, they are still willing and much more willing than before. They are still in a panic. They are still running all over the place. And this is still a difficulty level, meaning some are still going to be going towards you. Not as many as before, but some are. What's your deal with those?
my deal with those would be to, the dummies that don't understand words. They get the cattle prod. They get the loud, shrill noise in their ear. Like, look, get out of here. This isn't for you. You don't want no part of this, Ricky Bobby.
Okay. I think
I would use my sound to herd them away in masses, and then the outliers I would herd individually.
got it. Golden, any thoughts?
No, not really.
All right then. We will go back into the booth and discuss.
This is
Okie
your
dokie.
wish.
I am speed.
Okay, so what do you think?
Would this difficulty change the falling building that went in Destructo's favor wouldn't be as effective? It would still go good, but it wouldn't be as downgrading for Echo as it would normally be. And not to mention, he can mess with Dr. Destructo and even fend off Pale Rider's attacks better because of the lesser amount of people around him.
That is true. Do you think that his being able to, because in my eyes, their defense against Pale Rider, all it does is just buy them their amount of time to be able to save people while they do it.
Yes.
One could defend against Pale Rider for hours, and one could die in 2 minutes. But if that 2-minute person can save everyone in that 2 minutes, then they're great.
Yes.
Destructo will go down first.
Yes.
And then Echo, regardless, because it is an all-star.
Yes.
Echo will eventually slip up, will eventually get hit just like Destructo. Who can make the most of their defense in that time? Now that the people are more willing, they both follow their defenses much better. The booming communication does work, but remember, they are still in a panic.
Well, I mean, Echo did start off with a huge boom in the sky at first, which will clear a lot of people very fast. Unlike Dr. Destructo, he has to make time to make paths.
Yeah, that part doesn't really work well.
Not to mention, even though, yes, he can make trenches, and that'll block him from the stuff from Hell Rider, but there's still the chance he's like, oh, I can't hit them. Building time. And then, like, makes a building fall over.
So who are you putting your edge on?
I say Echo.
Right now, I'm still kind of on Destructo.
Because, like, I say that, like, the only additional civilians that Dr. Destructo would be able to save are the ones that would die to the buildings if it wasn't for Dr. Destructo. But I feel like the amount of time that Echo can survive longer than... because, like, you said, like, what if the 2-minute person can get everyone out at... but, like, the person who survives for hours doesn't really get that many people out? Well, I say that, like, to put it as, like, a number example, they're, like, each getting 10, Dr. Destructo occasionally getting, like, an extra 10 each time, but Dr. Destructo's line ends early while Echo keeps on going at that constant 10, and I feel like he would eventually, with the time that he has to live, get out more people.
A little bit. It's the fact that he's relying heavily on communication for me.
He's not relying communication. He tries doing that, and it would save some people, but I feel like his main form of communication is the cattle trick, which I feel like would work on tier... What's the tier?
See?
Yeah, I feel like the cattle trick would work on tier C people.
You've got a point. You've got a point there. And Destructo can only save people that are being shot at.
Mm-hmm.
He can only intercept the beams, and he just kind of has to hope they don't get close. Now that Echo can basically make huge booming areas, he can use it to keep them back.
Mm-hmm. He also, like, Dr. Destructo doesn't have the crowd control like Echo does.
Mm-hmm. I'm still on a little bit about Destructo, but I'm pretty sure you've made a point about Echo. Because... yeah.
This just proves how close of a fight it is.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's go back.
Although I lost it. I lost the Laurier, but it was like a perfect situation for him.
Alright. So, after going through this again, we have found out that this new winner was decided due to, well, obviously how easy the crowd is, but also now we have to factor in how well their crowd control ability is, and their crowd control was much higher than the opponents. Golden?
The winner of today's defense challenge match goes to Echo.
Yay.
Yeah, you can yell at them, but I'm still better at actively protecting the ones who don't run.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a split decision on this one. We were having a little bit of a harder thing, but it came down to the fact that Destructo could only protect the ones that Pale Rider shot at. Meaning there was still a good... Those are the only
ones in danger.
Those are the only ones that those could still get hit if he missed. And the building things, they would have escaped much faster, which again, Destructo can block. But Echo would be
I would make the argument that nobody's gonna come to the area where they hear all these buildings falling.
Yeah, that's why.
Like
the
his
splitting-
power, like none of the people have sense. His power is kind of redundant.
Oh no, he has the thing that lets they don't even have to like hear him. They just gotta really just feel him. So they can get shot at, and it's the fact that Echo can constantly be sending out huge vibrations that are basically just warding off areas.
You know, if he does that, I can just shoot him and kill him.
You're drunk. You can't hit me. All right. You
You can only do one or the other, though. You can't make me drunk and defend people. You can only do one or the other.
I want you to chug a fifth of vodka and throw a baseball.
You can only do one or the other, though.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It came really close to it because Echo would basically be free from Pale Rider, but not from Destructo.
He'd be free for both of us to attack him.
No, the big sounds keep him from hearing Rider. Because those sounds are big enough for him.
You'd still hear him.
Yeah, Destructo, if you let him re-roll the location, nothing would have changed, and he would have lost a point.
It would have been boring, though. You would have been like, oh, I didn't know that.